possession of previously non-capitalist social relations. Okay, let's talk a bit about this one. So, capitalist society, the second one, it's from Polanyi, and even though he's sort of comes from Marxist background, but because he's a nationalist and through that sort of a conservative as well to that extent, he's also so street I'm talking about is influenced by Polanyi's capitalist um, economy or society, the society which he's saying is at risk, which means that as a society, as capitalism matures, so capitalism generally starts with at the fringes of societies which are not capitalist. What do we mean by societies which are not capitalist? Societies which are not capitalist are societies in which individuals' motivation, majority of individuals' main motivation is not profit maximization. Let's be so they are not dominated by the evils of accumulation and the evils of avarice and covetousness. So those and social relations are not dominated by these two motives or the motive of profit maximization. So that's a non-capitalist society. It can be a Muslim, non-Muslim. It can be any society. But if these motivations are not the overwhelming motivation of a society, then society is not a capitalist society. And most societies, until recently, have been non-capitalist societies. And capitalism emerges in those non-capitalist societies through basically imposing itself through violence and through other means. So first, an elite is converted to capitalism, and that elite imposes through various means capitalism on society as a whole. So if you study England in 16th century, and the way Protestantism was imposed on England, that was part of because Protestantism brings with it capitalism as well in a sense. So because Protestantism was the first successful ideology of capitalism in Europe, so Protestantism during the reign of in the later half of the reign of Henry VIII and then his successor was imposed on England. When in most of that period, most of England was Catholic, especially the north. I'm talking about general public, but the elite, especially in the south, was converted to Protestantism, and that elite basically imposed Protestantism on the whole England in the form of Anglo-Saxon Church or Church of England, and with it, the same elite was also a capitalist elite, or was converting to capitalism, and through that capitalism was imposed on England as well. But by that, for a long time, general publics were non-Protestant and non-capitalist. So it took centuries to convert the population of England to capitalism. And that was through, their participation of overseas ventures and slaughters and imperialism and all that. So what I want to say was capitalism emerges in non-capitalist societies and generally imposed through violence and other means on those societies. But it takes, and then it from above it penetrates into those societies and convert them into through socialization, through education, through violence, through coercion to capitalist rationality. And we can say that society becomes capitalist when profit maximization becomes the main motive of individuals, and also social relations are subordinated to profit maximization. So society becomes the appendage of economy in a sense. So generally in non-capitalist societies, economy is an appendage to society. In capitalism, on the other hand, society becomes an appendage of and subordinated to capitalists, rationality or capitalism or economy or capitalist economy. So that's what I mean at the risk of, so as it matures, that's what happens. And capitalist rationality penetrates into individuals, their hearts, their mind, and also it penetrates into social relations. You can't say that social relations are totally subsumed under that. Obviously, that can never happen 100% as long as we are humans. But profit motives and capitalist rationality generally overwhelms and subordinate all other relations in mature capitalist societies. Okay, so that's